Good evening, everybody. I call to order the Select Board meeting of Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. The time is 7:35. Seeing a quorum of the Select Board present, the President of the Hall, Mr. Gito, Vice Chair Roberts, Mr. Carrera, and Mr. McCrisky, and myself, I call to order the meeting and ask that you rise if you're able to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So the first item on the agenda is citizens' comments. Are there any who would like to be recognized for citizens' comments? Two people? Three? Okay, so we'll start with Ms. Walsh.
Cynthia Walsh, 1096 Park Street. Last week there was an information forum about how to pay for the South School, and the audience was given a choice of 20, 25, or 30 years, and the overwhelming majority voted for 20, and I did. But there was a speaker who was making a plea for seniors, saying that 30 would be better for seniors because the chances are we're not going to be alive for another 30 years, so we'd save a few bucks. But I want to make the point that the majority of seniors who own homes are going to leave them to younger relatives, sons, daughters, nieces, nephews, grandchildren. And I know in my family the goal is, if you're going to leave me something without too many expensive attachments. So the idea is to leave your home with as few debts as possible for your legatees to have to pay. So when you consider this in the future, please consider the 20-year option, regardless of what people say about saving seniors money now, because we're looking to the future. And the future says that the people that inherit our property are already going to have high enough taxes. They don't have to pay extra debt. Thank you for that. And my last point is for all the people that think we should outsource our garbage and trash collection, I have one word: republic. 2 months people have gone without trash collection in the communities that outsource to Republic. And those of you who have to just save your trash for one day because of a holiday know what grief that can cause just from smells. So for those folks out there, it's not cheaper in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have right behind her David Laurie. Ask that you keep your comments under 5 minutes, if you don't mind.
Under 5? Oh, thank you for 5. I appreciate that.
You only have three
I was
speakers,
going to
so-
ask for 2 minutes times 3 and try to get 6, but 5 is perfect. So, thank you. So, thank you, Mr. Chair. David Lurie, I'm in 18 Robinette Road.
I'm Barbara Wallace, 25 Hunt Drive.
Kristen Bushaiba, 78 Brookside Ave, Brockton.
Yes, so what we represent is the Little Theater of Stoughton. So we have exciting news that even after the passing of Jan Jones, we were able to reestablish the Little Theater of Stoughton as a nonprofit here in Stoughton. And what we've done is we've organized and in meetings got very excited about the idea of doing a tribute to Jan Jones for all the years. She's done over 50 years worth of shows, hundreds of shows, for the benefit of Stoughton. And in order to give something back, we want to give something back through a show in April on either April 11th or April 25th. If we could get a commitment to one of those Saturdays, we'll put on a wonderful show, because there's the thrust would be to be excellent in what we do. We want to make sure it really shows the community that we really cared about all the work that Jan did. So that's our ask. In addition to that, because we understand that there's not going to be the possibility of pulling off a Christmas at the depot this year, we want to give back to the community a railroad station, a depot, Christmas at the depot event to bring romance back. I want to give some context. It wasn't our idea to do Christmas at the depot. We showed through Jan's vision to have a theater experience in the depot. Deborah Roberts, was chair at the time, was excited about the idea of can we bring the event to the depot as a Christmas event to restore community involvement and really a good atmosphere, a positive experience for people during the Christmas season. Jan loved the idea and said, we're going to do it for free. We're going to give it back to the community, free for all to come. And we want to give this, extend almost like a tradition, if you would like, for us to come back next December as our second event and all the years going forward. So that's our ask. If there's any questions, I mean, that's really what we would need is a commitment to a date in April to give something, and that would be us renting, by the way, from the town on that event. That would be like a private fundraiser kind of event. So
we're not able to have back and forth because it's not on the agenda. We could always put it on the agenda, some future agenda. But I would say that currently I believe that's a pretty active construction site, and I'm not sure exactly when it's going to be done. To the extent that we can do it this year, I'm sure that people would be thrilled to. It may not be possible, but certainly next year, it will definitely be up after December. And so we can either move that event into January or February, or just follow it up with the following year. But most likely that site won't be available around the holiday season.
yeah, we're foregoing the Christmas this year.
Okay, perfect. So you're talking
It would
about
be April and
2026.
2026.
Yeah, sure.
Which, by the way, it's kind of interesting because I believe the town has its 300th actually happening in December. So it'd kind of be an interesting way to close out the year of 300th activities with the Little Theater doing something at the historic railroad depot.
Yeah, so we can put it on a future agenda to discuss. The facilities, the municipal facilities are really currently managed by the town manager's office. If you want to rent the Great Hall or the tennis room or something like that, that would all go through the town manager's office. But we'll we can put that on a future agenda if that's something you'd like. It sounds like we have a little bit of time, but at the same time, I appreciate.
Well, yes, thank you, and the sooner we get the date, the better. We can organize much better when we have a lot of lead time, I'm just saying. So the sooner, it's not something that we have a whole lot of lead time with, so we'd really appreciate that.
Mr. Town Manager, is there something you'd like to add?
Just, Mr. Chairman, those are exactly the type of events that should fill that community center. So I'm really looking forward to getting those to the books. You'll be the first 2 bookings. Nice. So why don't you pick the dates and let us know? And I still owe the board a policy on how we will coordinate these events. But if you give us 2 dates, we'll make sure those are 1 and 2 on the agenda, on the calendar.
So I'll follow up with you with an email. Would that
Terrific.
be adequate? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for doing it.
What were those dates again?
Yes, April 11th and April 25th. And we gave the option just to see flexibility where if something was a conflict, you could easily move it to another. So it doesn't conflict with Easter or with the school vacation time. We figured away from those 2 dates would be the ideal weekends.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, to the town manager. Do you think you'll be done by April, you think?
We were planning, Scott, to be done by the end of December. Unfortunately, the windows are going to be delayed by 3 to 4 weeks, so it will absolutely be done in January. In fact, I'm planning the employee Christmas party there for 3rd week in January. So yes, we'll be done. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you. Yeah, thank you very much for coordinating it. And then,
Yep, no worries.
Ms. Jacobucci.
Hi, how are you? So I'm Christine Iacobucci, 139 Chemung Street, sorry. So it was suggested to me just to take a second to tell you something that we have going on at the library. So I'm telling you as a citizen, but also as an employee, I guess. But I just wanted to let you know that September's library card sign-up month, and it's a nationwide initiative. But and we always promote it at the library, right? Like, get your library card. What are the benefits of, your library card? But this year we tried something different. Also, I partnered with economic development and to figure out the best way to do it. So what we did was we put an ad in the Suburban Shopper and soliciting businesses that would want to partner with the library. So the initiative is called Show Your Library Card and Save. So we had 10 businesses that decided to participate. They all offer different either discounts or promotions. We did not stipulate what the promotions were, right? Like, it was completely up to the business. So there, at the library, there's a list of those businesses, and it's a great time to write. If you don't have your library card now, it's time to get one. Super easy. It's free. And I actually found mine so I could go do avocados and get a discount. So it's really hopefully a win-win. More people will, again, use their library card and then hopefully visit local businesses too. So I just wanted to let you know. That's all.
Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is town manager comments.
Mr. Chairman, I'm good. Thank you.
All set. Then we can move on to select board comments. We'll start with Mr. Gito. Do you have any comments tonight?
No.
Thank you. Vice Chair Roberts, do you have any comments tonight?
Yes, I do, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I do. So I wanted to announce to the board and to everyone about the Frederick Richards Fair. This is exciting. The Stoughton Public Library, I'm glad to see Christine in the audience. So the Stoughton Public Library is partnering with the Olympian Frederick Richards to offer the Frederick Richards Flip Fair. It's going to be held on Saturday, October 11th at 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. And it's going to be at the Stoughton High School gym. And they're going to have a variety of activities like carnival games, obstacle challenges, fun activities, photo ops. And this will be the special launch for the Frederick Flips book. So he has written a children's book, and it's going to be that launch. This will be a high energy, family-friendly event for all ages. And I would like a special privilege, Mr. Chairman, to ask Christine to come forward so she could tell a little bit about the book. And and once again, I want to give kudos to the library, Christine and Chris McGee and all the staff for this wonderful event, this partnership. The flyer is in development, but once it is finalized, it will be placed on the town's website and it'll have more details.
Yes, definitely.
Tell us a little bit about this book.
So,
Not much, but just a little. We don't want to give too much
I know,
away.
right? So it's a kid's book called Fred Flips, How One Gymnast Realized That Differences Can Become Strengths. So we have it on order for the library, so of course people can check it out, and then at the book launch it'll be available for purchase as well. But a basic theme of the book, or a description, would be it discusses how Fred overcame bullying and learned to stand tall and stand out in his quest to become one of America's most famous male gymnasts. So when I spoke with his sister in partnering with planning the event, I said not only can he inspire children to be gymnasts, but now also an author. Right. I mean, in his 20s, and he's done all this great stuff. So, yeah, we're super excited to be part of the event. And like you said, the flyer will be out hopefully by the end of this week. It'll be on, all the town's social media, as well as Frederick's as well. So, and on his Instagram and stuff. So,
And once again, all are invited to attend. Just all
definitely.
ages, adults too.
yep.
This is wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
I'll defer to Mr. McCrisky to talk about the event we attended at Brooks Meadow.
Okay. We'll continue on with Mr. McCrisky.
Sure. Real fast, yeah. We, Deborah and I had the opportunity to go to Brook Meadow Assisted Living as they created a pop-up library right in their, on their property line where there are books for seniors available, books for kids, and working with the town manager, we were very pleased to not let them know that in their quest for new locations to put these little pop-up libraries in, that the town manager agreed and the police chief agreed to host one in the lobby of each of the buildings. So the management at Brook Meadow were just ecstatic that they got 2 new locations to announce at their grand opening. And we're working on a couple others as well. So it's off to a great program. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say how much work that Christine does on the library with public outreach and what she does giving of herself besides an employee or a community volunteer of what she does for the residents of this town, with the books that she brings to the elderly. And I learned about this, and I think Christine learned something about me. I also learned something about her through our good friend, the late Joe DeVito. And Joe DeVito just sang her praises. And so it's a great thing you're doing, Christine. Keep up the great work. And we're doing some great things in town, Deborah. And thank you for bringing that up. And I challenge everybody to make a difference. Find something that you'd like to do, make a difference. There's a lot of people around that just stick their head in the mud. They don't do anything. They just complain or tell you how things should be better instead of standing up and try to make the difference themselves. So there's a lot of people here that have a lot of talents in our town, so I encourage all of you to please make a difference.
And to piggyback off of that through you, Mr. Chairman, to everyone, during that event, we also volunteered to do a reading around Christmas time. So we're happy about that. We're kind of gung-ho and very nostalgic about our holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Carrera, any comments?
I have none.
Thank you. I have none as well. We are a little bit ahead of schedule. We have a continuation of a dog hearing at 8 p.m. We're also still waiting on the attorney, I believe, so we'll move on to another order of business before we get to that. Let's see. I don't know if we can either move on to, Mr. Coulter, do you think moving on to the opening of the warrant is necessary, or we can move on to the consent?
Mr. Chasdale's downstairs. I can call him up right away.
Call them up, we'll just vote on the minutes very quickly. Yeah, there's 2 items, one of them is going to, we have to pull it. So for the consent agenda, we're going to take that out of order. Are there any items on the consent agenda that people would like to pull? There's only 2, yeah. So if nobody's going to pull any, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I will not be voting on the minutes because I wasn't here.
No problem. So is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So made.
Is there a second?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would like to pull, let me make sure I have the right one. It's 9B. 9B is the application.
9B, yes.
The police department had some specific recommendations, so I wanted to make sure those got
I think that's
noted
appropriate.
in our.
So let's, for the time being, just, is there a motion to approve the open session minutes of August 5th and August 15th of 2025? A motion was made by Mr.
Second.
Gito, seconded by... No problem. And seconded by Vice Chair Roberts. So we'll take them separately. For the minutes of August 5th, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
I abstain, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, and for the minutes of August 15th, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. So the minutes are done. For the application for a license for non-alcoholic feast, RIL of Stoughton Brazilian Feast at 122 Canton Street on September 13th, 2025. I think there were some
Police Department?
police department recommendations.
It's in the handout
the
that we
executive
gave to you
summary.
this evening. September 2nd letter from Deputy O'Connor.
So the letter from the deputy reads, gosh, sorry, I should start bringing my glasses. Honorable members of the board, I have reviewed the application for a one-day non-alcohol license for the Brazilian Feast of September 13th, 2025 at 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. So ending September 14th, 2025. There is no request in the application for a procession. The application is for non-alcohol permit with food and live music. After consultation with Chief McNamara, Carlos Arruda, and Reverend Carlos Suarez, new information has been learned and new recommendations made. Due to the nature of the immigration enforcement throughout the country, with Massachusetts being particularly pointed out,
It's in here, right?
the attendance is expected to be much lower than previously mentioned, than the previously mentioned 3,000 people. The event committee for this event has expressed that they expect 5,000 to 1,000 attendees. Also, the event committee has implemented preventative action to help facilitate the event, such as making announcement at Mass prior to the event regarding parking and disturbances, more portable bathrooms this year, and have the event committee more easily identified to assist with any issues and help monitor the crowd. The police department will make the following recommendations. 5 details. No parking on the sidewalk of School Street. No parking on one side of the street in the surrounding neighborhoods. And they specifically mention 5 streets. Atherton, Stockard, Perry, French, and Cushing. No parking on Canton Street. Entertainment ends at 11 p.m. and sufficient bathroom facilities. Please contact me if you have any questions. So that's from Deputy Chief James O'Connor. So is there a motion to approve, or is there a motion of some kind?
I move that we accept the application with all of the recommendations made by our police department.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, made by Vice Chair Roberts, seconded by Mr. McCrisky. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing none, our consent agenda is done. Attorney Chaplin, it's wonderful to see you. Thanks for joining us. So we still have 2 more minutes, so we'll take just a 2-minute recess. We'll be back at exactly 8 o'clock. My phone, my mic. Are you able to hear me? Call to order call back to order September 2nd meeting of the Stoughton Select Board. As is our custom here, I'm going to move the public hearings to the Vice Chair, who will oversee these public hearings. For the purposes of this portion of the meeting, she will be the de facto chair, so make all comments through her. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're reviewing item number 5. We move to resume to the public hearing, the continuation of August 19, 2025 public hearing pursuant MGLC 140, Section 157, to hear and consider a request dated June 26, 2025 for dangerous dog hearing filed by the Stoughton Animal Control Officer concerning a dog owned by Francis Lai. With that, I will turn the presentation over to Attorney Steve Chaplin.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice Chair. For the record, Attorney Stephen Chaplin, Mead, Tallerman, and Costa. We are town council in the town of Stoughton. I know the board's become quite acquainted with this procedure, but for members of the public who may be watching on Zoom or maybe with us this evening and who are not as familiar with the procedure, I'll give an overview of this. State statute actually designates a select board as a hearing authority where there's an attack by a dog. And by statute, the board is tasked with investigating the facts of that dog attack, or it doesn't even have to be an attack, it could be barking or aggression. And the board is tasked with first hearing witnesses. The statute tells us it has to be an evidentiary hearing. It doesn't tell us how. So I take my experience in the courtroom and I mold it to these proceedings so that we can have an efficient examination of witnesses under oath. So to that end, folks will come up one at a time. I will swear them in. I will administer the oath. If they have something prepared, we'll have them say what's prepared, and then we'll have some follow-up questions. If folks don't have anything prepared to testify to, I'll do my best to help you through it, just giving you kind of some basic softballs. But the basic and the really important thing is we have to find the facts. So it's really what happened, what did you see with your own two eyes, what did you hear with your own ears, as to, opinion or findings that you wish the board would make. That's really not the subject of the hearing, and obviously the board has a full agenda after the hearing is over, so we ask people to really keep it focused on what they personally observed. It could be an incident itself. I mean, we are specifically investigating an alleged June 9th, 2025 incident. It was documented in a police report that's been provided to the board. So that's the focal point of the board's inquiry this evening. If the witness was not a witness to the incident itself, but was a witness to injuries or treatment that may have been administered, that's something that's perfectly fine to testify to as well. So after all of the evidence comes in, then the hearing gets closed, and then the board enters into a deliberations phase, as is fairly typical. And what the board will do during that deliberations phase is twofold. The first question the board has to answer is whether the dog in question constitutes what's known as a dangerous dog or a nuisance dog, and that's not in everyday terms. That's as those terms are specifically defined by state statute, General Laws, Chapter 140, Section 136A. And as I'll instruct the board, when we get to that juncture, if the board finds that the dog is a nuisance dog by statute or a dangerous dog by statute, we then turn to Section 157, which tells us for a nuisance dog, the board shall order remedial action. The statute conveniently doesn't tell us what that is, so it's a little bit flexible. Conversely, if the board finds that the dog is a dangerous dog pursuant to the statutory definition, then this statute articulates 7 different remedial actions, and the board must order, under those circumstances, 1 or more of the 7. So the most benign would be identifying the dog via a chip or some photographs, and the most severe would be ordering that the dog be humanely euthanized. And then there are other measures in the middle, such as leashing, muzzling, confinement, altering the dog, spaying or neutering the dog, if that's not already been done and a veterinarian believes it's safe to do so. So that's I'm starting to get into the weeds a little bit, but that's the process. So with that, unless the board has any questions, I would move to calling witnesses and swearing them in and taking testimony.
I see no comment is consent. Attorney Chaplin.
Hearing no objection, we will proceed. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Is the owner of Chase in attendance this evening? Yes. Could you please come forward? Just so we have a clear record, could you please state your full name?
Sure, my name is Frances Lee.
Okay, and I'm just going to swear you in. If you could raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the matter now in hearing?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and were you present for the alleged incident on June 9th?
Yes, I was.
Okay, and could you tell the board what you saw?
Sure. So on Monday, June 9th, I arrived home from work with my son. I parked my car in the driveway like I always do. My son gets out of the car first, goes into the house. Takes me a little longer to get out, but he let my dog out to greet me. So my dog gets really excited. He usually runs over to me, gets to zoomies, runs back into the house very fast. On this particular day, my neighbor's daughter was climbing in the tree, not more than 20 steps away from where I parked. I honestly did not even see her hiding in the tree, and she jumped from the tree and started running the opposite direction. This kind of frightened me and my dog, so my dog chased her and was barking. I told her, stop running, because if she stops running, then he will stop running. And when she stopped running, he ran back into the house. In the meantime, she runs into her house where both her parents were. Her parents were not outside at the time. And she was crying and said, the dog bit me. Thankfully, the mom texted me the next day. She did take the child to the emergency room. Her mom texted me the next day and said she didn't need any stitches. All she needed to do was clean up the marks and put some antibiotics on her leg. So we were very, very happy about that, and we apologized profusely. We text them days after just to check on the little girl. Here's my thought. It wasn't an attack. It was her jumping out of the tree and running that caused us both to wonder if it was an animal that jumped out of the tree. But if it was an attack, he's a 75-pound dog. Nothing I would have said would have stopped him. When she stopped, he stopped, and he ran back into the house. I've had Chase since he was 8 weeks old. I know the type of reputation the breed has, and so I made sure that at an 8-week puppy, we socialized him. We've taken him to daycare. He is gone through several behavioral trainings and graduated. He's a very good dog. He's very good with people. He's very good with other dogs. And he is not the type of dog that would be vicious or dangerous or out to attack. I have several letters that I submitted last time from neighbors, friends that have been exposed to him, dog sitters, and they can all vouch for his gentle giant personality. I do want to apologize to the family. Nobody wants this to happen, and I apologize for not noticing the little girl in the tree, but I am here to defend my dog. He's not dangerous.
I have a couple of follow-up questions.
Sure.
Just for the record, so Chase is 4 years old?
He's almost 5 in October.
Okay. Pit Bull mix?
Yes. He's a Staffordshire Bull Terrier mix. I got him during COVID from a shelter.
Is he neutered?
Yes.
In the tree that the little girl was in, is that on your property or her property?
It's on the line,
Okay.
but it's not far from my driveway, and I actually have a picture of the tree and the distance of my car, if that will help.
Is it your testimony it's something that the little girl did that you believe startled Chase?
She startled the both of us because neither one of us saw her in the tree. When he was greeting me, which literally he would have ran back in the house, right behind me, she jumped out of the tree and started running the opposite direction. We didn't know what was jumping out of the tree or running the opposite direction. For all we knew, it could have been a squirrel. It could have been, a person that shouldn't have been there running from the tree, but we didn't know what was jumping out of the tree. So he naturally, instinctively ran after her, barking, but when she stopped, he realized it was her, and she ran back home.
Are you familiar with acquainted with the animal control officer in town?
Yes, we've actually met Michelle. She came by a couple of times, one time to submit the quarantine notice, and then the second time she came by to see the dog.
Did you have any discussions with Michelle regarding recommendations she had to the board as to how to resolve this matter?
So even before she arrived to my house, we've already purchased a muzzle. I've spoken to all my children and said no more letting him out to greet me. And we lock him in the TV room now whenever the door to my house is open. We have hired a Brockton Fence who is going to be installing a fence in my backyard, a 6-foot vinyl fence. Currently, right now, we've put a deposit down, but they're just ordering the supplies and they haven't installed it yet. In the meantime, he is in my house. Whenever we take him out, he's muzzled.
Okay.
So those are the precautions I've already taken, even before Michelle came to visit.
Okay. And so you're not, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just trying to summarize. It sounds like you don't dispute the injury. Is that correct?
That's correct?
You're in agreement with a fencing condition,
Yep,
and you're in agreement with a condition that Chase be muzzled when he leaves your property?
yes, when he's outside of my property, yes.
Outside of the house or the fenced-in area?
Yep.
Okay. I don't have any further questions. Do any members of the board have questions? Mr. Town Manager?
Madam Chair, through you to council, at the appropriate time, the animal control officer has, upon my request, submitted her opinion and recommendation. I'd be happy to read it into the record when called upon.
Mr. Town Manager, I would take you up on that offer right now.
Thank you. The letter is dated at the time of the original hearing, August 19th, to the Board of Selectmen and Hearing Authority from Animal Control Officer Michelle Carlos. This statement is in regards to the dangerousness hearing for the dog Chase, owned by Francis Lee of 141 Federico Circle. This is solely my opinion on the situation, and of course leave the discretion to the board for consideration. When I went to release the quarantine on Chase, he displayed no aggression toward myself, in parentheses, a stranger in uniform. He was friendly, with an approachable demeanor and excited to have a new guest. Mrs. Lee has been compliant with every part of the order, including muzzle order, and has made arrangements for the entire property to be fenced in, which may have already been completed if not started as of this writing. I believe on 6/9/25, Chase reacted in a prey-drive manner. When the young girl dropped from the tree in the yard, extremely close to the Lee's property, and started running, the dog became startled and instinctively chased. Many, if not all dogs, have this instinct. Of course, the alarming issue with this incident is the injuries to this 9-year-old that the 9-year-old girl sustained. This is the first incident I have ever encountered with this dog. The dog has always been up to date and registered with the town. The owners of the dog have been more than compliant and have gone through extensive measures to assure a situation like this never transpires again. My recommendation should be as follows. Quote, the dog is always muzzled when initially brought outside. If the dog is being brought outside in the secured fenced-in area, once all gates have been checked and secured, the muzzle can be removed so that the dog can play fetch for positive quality of life. The gates must be latched from the inside when the dog is to be out there, and always supervised by the owner. Never to be left out for any period of time alone. Point 2, the dog is never to be outside of the fenced-in area without compliance of the muzzle order in any public setting and is always be leashed in accordance with the town's bylaw 78.6. Thank you again for your time and attention to this matter. I can be reached at the following number for any further questions. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you for your testimony. We don't have any further questions for you. Oh, I apologize, Mr. Gito. Member Gito has some questions for you.
The incident occurred on the 9th, and you were notified by the dog officer on the 16th. There's a week in between. I just wanted to be clear on that. I guess the other thing, I'm an old guy, I guess, and I grew up with dogs. And I've been around dogs all my life and other animals as well. If a child or something jumps out of a tree, that generally sort of gets everyone's attention, as you mentioned. It's almost instinctive for a dog to do that. It's either a playful thing or whatever. I mean, I'm not suggesting for a moment that what happened wasn't a tragic thing. It seems that putting a $17,000 fence up around your property is a little bit extreme for this kind of a situation. But that's just my view of the situation. I mean, what I read in a number of the letters that were sent in and the training that the dog received seems to be well above what most people do when they have a pet. I guess I don't know where to go from there, but I think it was important to at least mention that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And the reason for us to decide to put up the fence is because one of Chase's favorite things to do is play fetch. And he wouldn't be able to play fetch with the muzzle if we're in a yard that's unfenced. So for him, we decided that the $18,000 that it's going to take to give him the quality of life was worth it. So that's why we decided to do what we are going to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do any of the other members?
Just like to make a very quick statement that and you're welcome to correct me if I'm wrong, but we have two phases here. In the first one, before we decide, if remediation is appropriate, before we can even do that, we have to determine whether or not we judge the dog to either be a nuisance dog, a dangerous dog, or to simply dismiss the complaint altogether. So I just want to remind, especially the board, that that's sort of step one here. After we get through that, then that our options are defined in law.
That's absolutely correct.
Yes.
I do know the parents of the child, I believe, are present.
And I believe we do want to hear
Thank you,
that
Madam
side.
Thank you for your testimony. Are either or both of the parents of the victim present? And just to create a clear record, could each of you please state your name, just for the record?
I'm Rebecca Dama.
And I'm Faisal Dama.
And could I have you both please raise your right hand? Do you both solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the matter now in hearing?
Absolutely.
Thank you. I understand you may have prepared a statement. Would you like to read that statement?
If that's all right.
Yes, please.
All right.
Try pulling the microphone a little bit closer?
All right. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
So my name is Rebecca. I am the mother of the 9-year-old involved in the incident. We have been neighbors with the Lee family since we moved to Stoughton around 13 years ago. I am here to share my story and provide some background to what led up to the bite on June 9th. Around 2 years ago, there was an incident that occurred while I was inside bringing in groceries for my car. My daughter came in crying and terrified, saying that Chase was not leashed and had chased her through our front yard. At this time, it was the only incident, so I had a conversation with her about how dogs like to chase, and I made a mental note to keep an eye on how often Chase was off leash and to keep an eye on the interactions between him and my children. There was a second incident that occurred when my 2 children were outside playing in the front lawn. Last year, sorry. According to my 2 children, Chase was off leash when he chased my youngest daughter across the lawn and all the way up against our car. For reference, our car is on the opposite side of the house from the Lee house. My oldest daughter stated that he looked, quote, really scary. Again, I did reassure them that, Again, I did not witness it, but I was very concerned at this point, so I brought it up to the Lee family. I was reassured by them that she likes to run and Chase likes to chase. That's why we named him that. After that, we made rules in our house that the children should just ignore Chase when he's out on the lead and come in if they see him off leash. The last incident happened again last summer. My children and I were playing in the yard together. The Lee family was outside as well. Chase, off leash again, chased my daughter right up to our front door where I was standing. He had the scruff of his neck up and had a low growl. I immediately spoke with the Lee family again, who witnessed the chase. I told them that I was concerned about Chase going after my daughter multiple times. They again repeated to me that Chase likes to chase and she likes to run. I made sure to tell them that Chase did not appear to be playing and looked angry. After this, my family had a meeting and we implemented even stricter rules about being in our own yard. If they wanted to go outside, they would have to first look to see if Chase was off leash, and if he was, wait until he was in the house. That was easy enough for my 9-year-old because at this point she was terrified of him. Now to the event of June 9th. It was a normal day. My husband and I were doing work around the outside of our house. My 9-year-old was helping us. My husband and I were bringing things to the back of the house when we heard a scream and some sort of bark or growl. At first, we didn't even realize that our 9-year-old was outside until we ran through the house to get to the front door, and she ran in and collapsed on the floor of the living room. She was in agonizing pain, crying, and bleeding with a large bite on her right lateral thigh. I did not witness the bite, but she told me that she was climbing in the tree outside in front of our house. She mentioned that when Mrs. Lee pulled into the driveway, another family member in their house let Chase out without a leash to greet her. When my daughter saw this, she jumped out of the tree and began to run into the house. Chase then chased her for an estimated minimum of 30 to 40 feet, per her report, before he inflicted a singular significant bite on her right thigh that measured 4 by 2.5 inches. When he let her go, she was able to make it into the house. I cleansed the wound and brought her to urgent care to be evaluated. The wound ended up having to be irrigated and dressed. The doctors had discussed stitches, but were concerned that closing the wound would increase her risk for infection. She was discharged with orders for antibiotics for a week and dressing changes 3 times a day until the wound closed. That took about 2.5 weeks. It has required her to see a physician 3 separate times to follow up as well as countless messages with her pediatrician. During one of these visits, one of the doctors stated, "She's lucky she was wearing pants because if she wasn't, the dog would have likely caused more significant damage." I last messaged her pediatrician 2 days ago because even 3 months later, her sight is still hurting her. For that, the doctor has given us a plan to follow every day to help minimize scarring, which is it apparently seems to, sorry. But they're thinking that at this point that she is going to be permanently scarred from this. Now she is severely afraid of dogs, and we've had to seek out the help of a therapist. One day recently, there was just a dog walking towards us on a leash calmly, and I had to catch her from running across a busy intersection just to get away. She frequently cries and asks us why Chase chases her. After this event, we were notified that there was a muzzle order to be put in place immediately, and it would require the dog to be muzzled every time he was outside. From what I was told, the initial order was put in place on June 16th. My family all witnessed him being walked out without a muzzle. When we spoke to the Lee family on June 20th, we expressed our concern of the safety of our daughter. They told us about the safety measures they had put in place to prevent him from getting out accidentally, and that they were getting a fence. They also expressed repeatedly that this incident was an accident and it wouldn't have happened if our daughter didn't run away. They also stated Chase was likely startled from my daughter jumping out of the tree, and he couldn't see who he was chasing. Keep in mind, she was probably around 10 feet away from Chase when she did jump out of the tree. On June 26th, Officer Carlos called to check in, and I mentioned that the dog was still not wearing a muzzle while outside. She reassured me that she would reinforce the order with Chase's owners that day. On July 2nd, we were out doing yard work, and Chase was out again, tied to a tree and not muzzled. My daughter was so scared that she hid under the bed for over an hour. Again, we emailed Officer Carlos, who stated she would speak with the family, and since then, we have seen Chase wear his muzzle. We are just concerned that the series of events that led up to the bite on June 9th, as well as the events that followed, was the biggest concern that if Chase gets out again, we believe that it could lead to another bite, and by seeing the trends of behaviors over the past 2 years, that the next incident could be worse. My daughter's only 54 pounds and has never once provoked Chase in any way. She was only a child playing in her yard each and every time Chase pursued her. She was an amazing student and friend who was smart and empathetic. She will even capture bugs in the house just to let them free. Chase is a 70-pound pit mix that has persistently pursued my child for no reason at all. I will end with the Massachusetts definition of a dangerous dog. It states a dog that either, one, without justification, attacks a person or a domestic animal causing physical injury or death, or two, behaves in a manner that reasonable person would believe poses an unjustified imminent threat of physical injury or death to a person or a domestic-owned animal. In my family's personal opinion, Chase has met these requirements, and at this time, we ask you, the Select Board, to please carefully review all of the information and take whatever steps you deem necessary to protect my daughter from any future incidences so we can feel safe playing in our yard again.
Thank you. Thank you all for providing us the opportunity to share our testimony of events as our family has experienced them. Thank you.
Do any of the board members have questions? Mr. Gito has a question for you.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that. I didn't see that in any of the correspondence that was provided. When did you send that to the board?
So we did not actually know of the last hearing until the day before, and because of my work schedule, I work nights, I wasn't able to make it here. And so it's been kind of a scramble since then for us to get everything in place to be able to be here tonight because nobody notified us, so I apologize. And the reason that for a previous question that you had asked for someone else, for Mrs. Lee, the reason that the ACO was not notified earlier was because I was told that the urgent care would have sent the report over, but they never did. So when I called to ask questions and ask what to do and where in the process we were, she said that she had never been notified, so I had to start that process myself.
Thank you. It probably was, I apologize for my comments earlier, not because they weren't heartfelt, but because they must have offended you to hear me say what I said. I mean, I have been around animals, as I said before, and so I was hearing one side of a story, you have another side of a story that I was not aware of. Thank you.
Thank you, we appreciate that.
One very brief follow-up. Do you believe that if the muzzle order and the construction of the fence are followed, do you believe that will protect your children in the neighborhood adequately?
This is the first, I'm not going to lie, there's no handbook on how to be a parent in this situation, and I feel bad for everyone involved. And I just don't know, I don't know what I'm asking for. I just want my daughter to be safe, because this has happened multiple times. And, you know, and it's weird because I have an older daughter as well who he's never even cared about. It's for some reason seems to be my only child, and I've been in their house, and he is a wonderful dog when you're in the house, and I get that. But it's these incidences that are making me incredibly concerned, because she's 9. She doesn't understand. Like, she's showing signs of PTSD now. Like, I took her to a zoo today, and at the zoo, a goat was walking up behind her, and she didn't realize, and she started freaking out, going, "Chase is chasing me again." And I don't know what I'm asking for, and that may sound awful. I don't wish any ill will on the Lee family, honestly. Like, we really don't. This is just a lot to go through.
I completely understand, and I appreciate you answering my question.
I just want to add, our priority is obviously our daughter. So anything that we can do to minimize, sorry, can you hear me now? Our priority is our daughter, so anything we can do to minimize the risk of something like this happening again, that's what we seek, that's what we want.
Understood.
And I do have copies of my testimony, if that is helpful for the board. I apologize it took me so long to get here, but like I said, I don't know what happened, but we weren't notified, so that's why.
That's okay. We'll take the copies, although I suspect the board will deliberate this evening. Okay. Unless there are any further questions, we can.
Can I add something?
We'll wait till they're finished, but yes, we can recall you. Okay, unless there were any questions, we can have the witnesses step down. One question.
Yes. You were very descriptive in your comments and in the details of what occurred throughout the years, even, that we were not privy to. But I have to ask in my own way, even though I believe I know the answer, but I have to ask, has there been at any time that your daughter and Chase played together or were together?
So she's never really been a fan of dogs, so she's just kind of always kept her distance. But when he was a puppy, my kids would kind of get in trouble because they would like to give him sticks to chew on, so he would make a mess because he would kind of be tied up in between our 2 yards, which was always fine for us, you know what I mean? And so my kids would give him sticks, and then we kept saying, hey, now the yard's becoming a mess. And I think she was kind of involved in a little bit of that, but I mean, other than that, really, like, she kind of just kept her distance. That's always how she is with pretty much every dog, like, before this, but this has obviously increased her fear.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You
We're all
can
set?
step down. Yes, thank you for your testimony. I saw that Ms. Lee had a hand raised. So under the statute, it would be appropriate to recall her. And Ms. Lee, I'm anticipating that you would like to offer some measure of clarification as to the testimony we may have just heard.
Yes, so she mentioned that there were several incidences and that she's had several conversations with me, and I've never had a conversation with her or am aware of any of those prior incidences. So I just want you to know that the only incidents that I am aware of was the incident that happened on June 9th when her daughter jumped out of the tree. I am not aware of any other incident with my dog and her daughter. Nor has she had any conversation with me about why my dog has something against her daughter. She's never said that to me. So Otherwise, I would have been extremely, extremely careful with my dog, but there's never been a conversation like that. And like she said, her daughter's always been afraid of dogs, so we would not have, if we knew she was outside, if we knew this, we would not have let the dog out to greet me if we knew this. It was never said. They used to have a dog, so, thank you.
Okay. Do any of the board members have any questions in response to what we just heard? Hearing none. I would suggest to the board that we're at a crossroads in the hearing. I don't know if there are other folks who want to testify. Maybe there are, maybe there aren't. But the next, sort of the next question to be addressed by the board is whether it's appropriate to close the hearing and to stop taking evidence. And that in part depends upon whether the board feels that it's heard enough information to make a decision, and perhaps you even have some questions for me as to what the decision-making process is.
Go, yeah.
Mr. Carrara.
Through you to the attorney, would it be appropriate to ask the people who their daughter got bit, if the dog chased her daughter up on the stairs, who came and got the dog? Or did the dog leave on its own? That's my thought, that if the little girl's getting chased and she gets chased to her front door, then who comes and retrieves the dog? I'm having a little trouble believing which one. But I'm sorry to say that I do believe the people that are getting chased. Because once a dog singles out, and these dogs are noted for that, it's the weakest of the flock that falls. That's why the oldest one's probably not getting picked on. And once a dog bites and pulls blood, we've had this before here, and I'm just wondering if I can ask that question. I don't want to drag them up. I just wondering if it's appropriate to ask who comes and retrieves the dog when it's chased this 9-year-old to her front door.
So we certainly can recall the witness, and if that's testimony that would be material to your determination, we can certainly do that.
Yeah.
But would you mind coming back up to the table? Since you didn't leave the room, I'm assuming you heard the question?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm
So-
sorry to ask you this and bring you up,
no,
but
I
it's just...
mean, it makes sense. So, we just have like a front deck area, and so like I was standing here, my daughter was standing there, and the dog was standing here. And so like, I believe it was Mrs. Lee who called the dog home, and that's when I made my concerns known. I said, hey, he seems to be chasing her a lot, but I was dismissed, so I don't know. But he basically, like, she called him home and he came. He went home.
Thank you.
No problem. Anything else?
Is there anybody else who is looking to testify? Could you come forward, sir? We only have one individual. For the record, we have one individual who's raised his hand. Sir, could you please state your name for the record?
Yes, my name is Michael Varner, 208 Golden Road, Stoughton. I am the family's contractor, and I've known Chase for 3 years, and an amazing dog. So I have a dog who looks exactly like Chase, exactly, other than the ears being cropped, my dog, and the coloration, the color's a little different, but you would think they're identical because they are identical in terms of their breed. He's an American Bully, Staffordshire, and Pit Bull. So I, too, have been around dogs my entire life. My families have had dogs. We had a lasso apso, and that thing was vicious. Oof, that thing wanted to bite. I know dogs. But anyway, so my dog I got from the town. In fact, he was taken away from a bad family here. And I adopted him 5 years ago, and he became mine 2 years ago for good. Now, my dog is the most lovable dog. I know most people will say this about their dog, but my dog is well known throughout this community. And I have a martial arts school right next door. And he has grown up with hundreds of kids. Now, he has never, in a bad way, ever played with anybody in a malicious way. In this situation, it's about the intent of the dog. Now, if you look at my dog, he's a menacing-looking dog. He's very muscular, but he always has a smile. But if you don't know dogs and you have a fear for dogs, you would be afraid of my dog. But like I said, he's the most lovable dog. Now, as I said, he's played with hundreds of kids at my school. He's pounced on many kids. He has scratched. His mouth has been around arms of my girlfriend's arms, playing with them. He has the capability to destroy things if he liked. All right? Chase, my dog, again, the similarities, their jowls. I've trained my dog very well, not only in disciplinary, but in terms of his fitness. And I can see what my dog could do to a tug toy. He could devour it in seconds. But he's the most gentle dog with people. But if you play rough with him, if you run across my mats, he will run after you in the most loving, playful way, and he will pounce you, and he will be on top of you, loving you, kissing you, drooling on you. And yes, his jowls could be around your arms. Has he marked me? Absolutely. Has he marked my employees? Absolutely. But in a loving way. All right? I've known Chase. I've played with Chase the same way I play with my dog, and he's exactly like my dog. He's a lovable dog, and I believe in this particular circumstances, and I feel very bad for this young girl, because it is a traumatic situation that she will deal with. But again, it's the intent of the dog. I don't believe the intention of the dog was to do any malicious harm, but being playful. Thank you.
Mr. Town Manager?
Yes, Mr. Coulter.
Madam Chairman, I'm almost wondering if this board must consider another continuance. Reason being, our animal control officer did not provide any of the historical information that the parent of the 9-year-old child provided. And I would like to ask the mom if our animal control officer interviewed her. And if so, I would ask the animal control officer why none of that data is in this report. I think it's imperative. I appreciate Mike's testimony. I'm not sure, I understand his point about the relevance between his dog and Chase, but they're two different animals, and his dog wasn't involved with this incident. If the animal control officer interviewed the parents, and none of the testimony they gave here tonight was revealed in that interview, I think that's very relevant. And I'd like to ask the animal control officer personally about that interview. Thank you.
Comment?
A motion to continue would be a proper motion. It is, it's the purview of the board.
Oh, Mr. McCrisky, before I entertain a motion.
Madam Vice Chair, Town Manager spoke exactly what I was going to bring up. If we potentially don't have a complete investigation before us, my motion is to table this until such time that the animal control officer, the police chief, town manager have the time to discuss to find out what information is missing before we make, because I have pretty good grasp on this, but I don't feel that we can move forward. I think it's improper for us to move forward until we have every avenue with answers. You know, it's all about facts. We have some facts here, but now we find out we're missing some. So my motion is to table until such time that the police chief, animal control officer, town manager, and the chair of the board have time to confer to make sure that we have all the information before we set another date.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor and on the roll call vote. In this case, Mr. Gito.
Yes.
Chairman Cavey.
I vote yes.
Mr. Carrara.
Yes.
Mr. McCrisky.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Is the board inclined to continue to a specific time and date, or?
ASAP.
Okay, so I'll,
Should
since it was
happen
left open
with-
to when we have information, we can do it on the 16th, I believe, we're meeting, which is 2 weeks. We're also meeting next week on the 9th.
Mr. Chairman, do we need confirmation that the animal control officer is available on that date?
I
Well,
think,
that's my
the
motion.
town-
We've got to get it done before we come back, so whatever
That's
they
right.
can, they're going to have to work out their schedules.
Okay.
I would like it back here ASAP, not 2 weeks, 3 weeks. These are employees that work every day. This is a priority in my book, so.
Yes, I understand, Mr. McCrisky. She reports to our town manager, Mr. Coulter, and he just stepped away.
Right.
So I would like for him to confer that she will be here on the day we're asking.
Okay.
Because, like you said, he's shaking his head in affirmative. He's calling her now.
Okay. Thank you.
So,
Might we need to just wait, pause briefly?
yes, can we
Wait
please?
confirmation on that date?
5-minute recess.
Well, I don't think they're setting a date now, just
Yes.
because
Can
all
we
we're
have
saying, we need a process
2-minute
to happen.
Can we have a 2-minute recess, please?
2 minutes, huh?
Just 2 minutes.
We'll
He's
time
off
you
the
on that
phone.
one.
He's walking up now. He may be ready. Okay. Is she available
September 9th.
September 9th?
She'll be available.
It's the 15th.
We're meeting next week.
We are.
Oh,
Wait just a minute.
Six,
Oh, that's right. We are.
16th would be preferred
16th?
from my standpoint.
Is that, Chair, if we ask the homeowner, both of the homeowners, if they're available that date?
I see nods in affirmative from both families that
Okay.
they are available. Motion made, second, roll call vote, so nothing changes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Correct. So for the record, the hearing remains open and continued to the 16th of September, at which time the hearing will continue to remain open and testimony will be taken from the animal control officer and take the matter up at that time.
Thank you.
With that, let's move to the next.
Yes. The variance is not a public hearing. That's,
Mr. Chairman, I will return the gavel to you for our next agenda item.
Thanks. You'll get it back in a moment.
number 6.
thank you. Okay. So the next item on the agenda, let me just get the backup open. Apologies. Is a variance request under section 31 of the Town of Stoughton Select Board Alcoholic Beverage Licensing Regulation. The business is Key to Amaze at 48 Wyman Street. Is William Ferrero available? Thank you very much for joining us today. If you don't mind telling us a little bit about your business and the nature of your business and why you think, even though it might not fit exactly our policy, why your business makes sense to have an exemption to that.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I have a little bit of a narrative here, so bear with me.
Take your time.
Good evening, members of the board, and thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is William Ferraro. I'm here to respectfully request a waiver for the food service requirement under the alcohol beverage licensing regulations for our professionally managed location-based venue at 48 Wyman Street. What we are creating is a safe, responsible, operated space featuring golf simulators, virtual reality, and other activities, with a small bar on site where guests can order quality food directly from nearby licensed restaurants. It is a modern model adopted by many other venues that not only serves our patrons, but also drives more business to the restaurants already here in Stoughton. Who am I? First and foremost, I am a husband and father of 4 young men, all of whom have participated in the build-out and running of our business, Key to Amaze Virtual Reality, in Boston, in one form or another. I've been an entrepreneur for about 30 years, first in construction and real estate development, and for the past several years in technology, specifically virtual reality and a very strong interest in artificial intelligence. Early in my life, I proudly served in the United States Marine Corps, which shaped how I show up, disciplined, prepared, and accountable. I have held an unrestricted Massachusetts construction supervisor's license for over 25 years and a certificate from the MIT Sloan School of Management. I am also the owner, developer, and operator of 48 Wyman Street. I'm the owner and I've owned the building for over a decade and have been patient in finding the right use, one that fits the space, serves the town, and brings people back to our center. Over the years, I've been approached many times to rent the space out for short-term events. I know that these would have been illegal parties or raves. I've turned them down every time because I've wanted to align this property with long-term interests of the town and not for a short-term gain. I believe this concept is not just a good fit, it is the perfect fit for the building and for the town of Stoughton. Before I go further, I want to note that we are committing several $100,000 to the investment into the building before we even open. This does not include equipment. The investment enhances safety, energy efficient, and aesthetics, ensuring we are not just meeting but exceeding the code and community expectations. My track record at Key to Amaze Virtual Reality in Boston. For context, we've operated Key to Amaze Virtual Reality in Boston for over 5 years. We specialize in private corporate events, think team building, corporate outings, offsites, client events, things like that, and family-friendly experiences and entertainment. Operationally, our business is structured around reservation-based with clear occupancy limits, trained staff, and strong safety culture. We've hosted events from companies such as Amazon, Car Gurus, Meta, Boston Children's Hospital, Wayfair, and many more local and global companies. These clients, they demand professionalism, safety, and reliability, and we deliver consistently. We are also proud partners with the Big Brother Big Sisters of Massachusetts and regularly donate to various charities throughout the state. We are proud to say that we hold a 4.8 star rating on Google Reviews and have been voted Best Experience in Boston by TripAdvisor in 2020, 2021, and in 2023. In Boston, we frequently coordinate outside food and private events, working with licensed restaurants and caterers. This experience informs our Stoughton model. We can provide a great entertainment environment, exceptional customer service, and a small bar while directing food dollars to local restaurants without adding a commercial kitchen on site. The Stoughton concept that we have, what we are building, is indoor golf, 4 to 6 bays, virtual reality experiences, including virtual reality headsets and VR racing simulators, a small 10 to 12 seat bar, and casual games, think darts, shuffleboard, cornhole. Our food model is order in. Patrons may order from nearby establishments such as Avocados, Olivio's, Town Spa, Stoughton Bakery across the street, and soon to reopen House of Brews. We will make this easy with menus and QR codes. This approach supports local businesses by sending food revenue to existing restaurants, activates downtown with additional foot traffic, and maintains public health and safety because food is prepared in established kitchens. Why a waiver makes sense for this use. The kitchen bylaw did not contemplate entertainment-first venues that still offer high-quality customer service and experiences. Our model is not a restaurant. It is a location-based entertainment venue with a small bar, and the food comes from licensed kitchens nearby. In this case, the bylaw's intent, public health, safety, and orderly operations is fully met without building a kitchen. Our operation and compliance highlights there is no on-site cooking. That means no grills, no fryers, or hoods. Bar operations only. All alcohol is served by tip-certified staff with strict ID verification. reservations-driven scheduling, clear occupants with clear occupancy caps. Noise controlled. Activities are indoors. Golf and VR are very low-impact uses. Waste and sanitation plan. Sealed trash is stored indoors in a separate location with frequent removal. Security cameras, staff coverage, and cooperation with police and fire. And accessibilities. We have an open floor plan with compliance to ADA requirements. The investment in the building and upgrade. We are investing several $100,000s in the building itself, exclusive of equipment, before opening, including all new underground plumbing serving 4 bathrooms, 2 ADA compliant to modernize the infrastructure and capacity. A full building insulation designed to exceed current code requirements with rock wool in the perimeter walls to assemblies to mitigate sound transmission and help protect neighborhood quietness. We also have a 1,400 square foot mezzanine that we have engineered specifically to maintain an open floor plan concept and enhance the indoor aesthetic and sight lines. We have a fully adjustable fire alarm system, bringing a non-compliant building into current fire code compliance and enhancing public safety downtown. We have a planned storefront renovation in the next 24 to 36 months to further improve the facade and contribute to the downtown streetscape. And we also are transitioning to high-efficiency electric heat pumps. These are something that is going to reduce the carbon footprint, similar to what the community center across the street is doing. Much of this work is already underway, but completing it and moving forward with equipment franchising is more straightforward once this waiver is approved. Approval is an important first step in putting lenders at ease, showing that the town supports not just the revitalization of the building, but the vision for the project as a whole, and that it fits into the revitalization of the downtown central business district. These improvements material upgrade a decades-long vacant building, increase safety and accessibility, and demonstrate our commitment as an owner-operator invested in Stoughton Center. The community benefits are a vacant building is revitalized. This equals new tax revenue, new jobs, and new life for our downtown. Food model tied to local restaurants equals managed a magnet for nearby businesses rather than being another competitor. Okay, sustainable heating and cooling. We lower our carbon footprint and align with the soon-to-open community centers approach. Public safety upgrades. We have a fire alarm, ADA bathrooms. We have significant insulation in the building, and we have security cameras. This equals a safer and more accessible and more resilient infrastructure. Exterior lighting, signage, and facade improvements. We are going to have a brighter, more welcoming streetscape and renewed presence downtown. And family-friendly programming expands the options for local families and supports youth and education partnerships through the state of Massachusetts. Alignment with the bylaw, intent, and precedent. The kitchen requirements aim to protect the public health and ensure orderly, well-managed establishments. Our proposal meets that intent by sourcing food from licensed inspected kitchens, eliminating on-site cooking risks, operating with trained staff, reservations, and occupancy limits. We also are committing to sanitation, waste, and security standards. We understand that the board has, in appropriate circumstances, granted waivers when a proposal clearly satisfied the bylaw's purpose through alternative safeguards, and we believe our model does exactly that. Closing and specific request. In closing, I am proud to invest in Stoughton as the building owner, developer, and operator, and to bring a responsible, community-focused entertainment venue to downtown. We respectfully request the approval of the waiver from kitchen requirement for the 48 Wyman Street location with the following conditions that we are happy to accept. 1, no on-site cooking equipment. 2, food permitted only from licensed establishments that are local. 3, bar service by tip certified staff and ID verification at entry or upon service. 4, maintain a sanitation and waste plan suitable for outside food. 5, operate primarily by reservation with occupancy caps. 6, maintain security cameras and cooperate with the police and fire as needed. By approving this waiver, you're not just supporting a business, you're unlocking the benefits of a fully revitalized property, new tax revenue, and a downtown anchor that drives customers to existing restaurants and shops. I thank you truly for your consideration, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. I think the paperwork that you provided, and you might have mentioned this in your statement as well, includes the fact that you were a member of the Marine Corps.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your service and also for looking to do business in the town of Stoughton. Very much appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm going to open up questions for members of the board. Mr. McCrisky.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'll make this brief. I'll try to. I did my due diligence. I got to say, I had a different concept in my head before I went and met with the proprietor about a week ago and did my homework. And I'm looking forward to it. I did my homework on his location in Boston, it's virtual reality. Everywhere in it, closed rooms where it's virtual reality. So you're going in and playing games. There's nothing that leads to anything else. The liquor license application is an added feature. It's not needed for that, but sure as heck adds to it. And it gives the opportunity of groups of friends to get together. And we see it when we go out. We've all, at one time or another, all gone out for a cocktail here and there. It's not necessary, but it's nice, and it's, it brings a little comfort to the place. You were the host of one. Don't even go there. He says, "I've never been invited." Yeah, right. Yeah, that was good.
I don't know who you went out with.
Yeah, exactly. But it's nice to see this, and I do agree. This is a type of business that's going to bring business into downtown. They're going to go out, they're going to have some fun, they're going to look for a restaurant within walking distance instead of driving somewhere else. It's going to keep the business in Stoughton. I mean, it's a venue that could be used for nonprofits in town to run events, and engage. This is different. This is very different, and I really looked at the reviews, looked at comments of people there, and it would be nice to have some of those comments coming about a new business in downtown Stoughton. So excited. Looking forward to voting in favor of this, and I would encourage my colleagues to please consider voting in favor as well. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Vice Chair Roberts, you had any comments, questions?
Oh, yes, Mr. Chairman, I do. First, before I ask my question, I would like to state for the record, there's no precedence to a license. Every license is on its own accord. So whether we approved a variance to a previous owner does not mean we're going to approve.
Of course.
For all. So
Fully
I'm just
understand
saying that. I did have some questions because I was still unclear of the type of business it is.
Sure.
And with the knowing that there are some nuances to a business, really there's no new invention of a business. So with that said, what is your business like, other than what you said you had a business in the Boston area? Who is your direct competitor? Is it something like Top Golf? Is it something like I think it's called Broken Tree Golf in Lakefield, or maybe Mr. Tisdale, that's your area, right? Maybe he could answer that question. What is it like? Because I see the building, I know where 48 Wyman is, I drove by it.
Sure.
But what is this really?
Sure. So the golf part of this business is new to us. In Boston, we specifically focus on virtual reality. As far as golf, I would consider like X-Golf Champions. I would think it would be something along those lines, where it's like an indoor venue where they have golf leagues, things like that, where people are coming, they're signing up for the leagues for the off season when they're inside and they're playing golf and with their friends in the league. So that's what I would consider the type of venue that we would be on that. When it comes to virtual reality and things like that sort of thing, that's we get a lot of corporate events, and we also get a lot of honestly like date nights. People coming out for dates, and instead of going out for dinner and coffee, they're going to put a couple headsets on and have some fun, climbing Mount Everest or fighting zombies or whatever they're going to do. So that's kind of that concept. And then we also have a part of it where we have an education program for teens, where we teach kids after school and during the summer about we educate them on emerging technologies, whether it's virtual reality, artificial intelligence, things like that. So we're working on a partnership with the state of Massachusetts on that with their AI hub, because that's one of their top priorities right now. So, but as far as the business model around the golf, I would consider it like an X-Golf or like something like that. Top Golf is a little different because it's outside, and you're actually hitting the ball out into the open, where this is you're hitting a ball into a screen. You're actually, you are swinging a real club and you are hitting a ball, but it's going into a screen. So, and to be honest, I'm not a golfer, so it's hard for me. So,
I'm saving the best question for last then, seeing that you said that.
so yeah.
Mr. Tisdale, did you have something to add about the similarities to help clarify my concern, or, because it's kind of a foreign business?
I don't have much to add other than I've been to both. And up until tonight, I did not realize it, but you're near Fenway, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I recognized you.
Okay.
I came up here. I mean, for the last 2 Decembers, my son loves playing virtual reality.
Oh.
And we've gone into your place, and it'll be a room like this, and you'll put the glasses on, and then you can pick different games to play. And Brent Tisdale.
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
every
Yeah.
December, very, very strange, because I saw you and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's got to be the place in Boston when we go to. But you put the glasses on and you're all shooting arrows with the boats coming in and with the zombies or whatever they are hopping off the boats trying to get you. So that part I'm very familiar with. The other part at a different place near my house is Broken T Virtual Golf. And I go there, I don't go there a lot, but I go to the pizza place near there quite often. And essentially how the virtual golf works is you're hitting a golf ball into the screen like this, and you go there, there's golf leagues. Usually, obviously you can't play golf in the winter, so the people who play golf in the summer go there with their friends. You get your foursome, and you're hitting golf. And if you play golf like I do, you need a beer when you're done, or at least while you're playing.
Is it beer or is it wine? Mr.
Generally,
Teasdale, beer or wine?
Beer or wine. But yeah, no, I have positive experiences with both sides of that business. So.
Thank you for that clarification, both of you. The second question, this business is very enthusiastic for us and the community, but I have to ask a question about parking. Where, when we drive all of the citizens to this business we're enthusiastic to attend, where would they park? I don't know if you would answer the question or if that's a question for Mr. Coulter, or, because parking is a premium.
Sure. So, I mean, I think, like, as far as, I know when we went through the planning board, they thought that there was no additional need for parking in consideration to what it was before. My thought is that we are kind of off hours. So most of our patrons are coming in the evenings or on the weekends. And so that leaves kind of, the lots to be, I know there's a lot of, right behind, the new community center, there's that parking space, there's that parking area over there that's got some public parking, there's public parking for street, 2 hours, things like that. Most people aren't there for more than a couple hours. So that would be my thought.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
I'm in. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Carrera.
Now that all the love is out there, let's get down to the good stuff. The only question I got is, how does the trash work?
Sure.
That's the only thing I'm concerned about is, no matter how tight things are, you keep them inside, you're going to get friends.
I hate friends.
Yeah.
Of those kind.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. Actually, I went through this with the Board of Health, and to be honest, yeah, I do not. I deal with, I am, as Mr. Tisdale will tell you, I am below Dunkin' Donuts and 7-Eleven, and we have no friends down there. Okay, we have nothing because I am meticulous about it. I don't keep trash. We get rid of it immediately. So in this location specifically, we actually, when Joe came by, I showed him we actually have a room that we are constructing at the back of the building that's specifically for our trash. And if you were to go into the building, the entire building has a curb that is about 8 to 12 inches high of solid concrete that's part of the foundation that comes up out of the ground. As my engineer said, he said, I think this was built by the Romans because it's never coming down. But it comes up, it's out of the building. So the first 12 inches right up to the corrugated steel is solid, and we've actually infilled that additionally with concrete, so there's no penetrations. That space will be sealed that is going to be sealed completely, and we have ventilation specifically for that for that room. Additionally, Troop Waste, I've already talked with them about this. They said that, they have no problem doing as many pickups as needed. So my thought is we start with twice a week pickups, and then, if we need to increase, then we increase. But I have, we're going to literally be having the trash right next to one of those golf bays. So I have no interest in having my patrons and customers saying what stinks. So we're on top of that completely.
Thank you.
So.
So you'll be able to order, like if somebody's there, they'll order, say, can you order pizzas from Town Spa, and they'll send them. So that's how that works there?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
No problem.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Jeter, do you have any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple. About how many people would be in your location at any one time?
So I think that on the plan it says 46 or something like that, but that includes staff. Each golf bay is for 4 people, something like that. And if we have 4 to 6 golf bays, that would be 16 to 20 people, something around that range. The VR headsets are one-off for one only, and we're probably looking at 6 or 7 of those. And then, if someone wants to come in and play some cornhole or things like that. I think that we're looking at there's a place called iGolf in Marshfield that a friend of mine, or my cousin and a friend of mine told me about. They have a business model where you actually pay to get in, and you can, if you want to play, darts or cornhole or something like that, and you're not golfing, you can do that as well. It's more of a, again, it's part of a family entertainment center. So.
I guess my second question is, what are the themes that you would be dealing with AI?
Say again?
What sort of things, what sort of artificial intelligence things would you be providing to your customers?
For AI, we don't provide anything. Are you referring to virtual reality or?
Virtual reality.
Yeah, so virtual reality, again, it's headsets, and the headsets have about 30 to 35 different experiences. So you can do everything from go to Pearl Harbor during World War II. They have an entire, Time Life did an experience for that. So you can actually experience that and see, so you have like a history lesson. You can go behind the Mona Lisa. There's stuff you can do, like it was mentioned, Elven Assassin, where you're an archer and you've got to defend your town against, like a tower defense. Or you can climb Mount Everest if you want. You get to hang out with blue whales under the ocean if you want. So there's all sorts of different experiences. There's escape rooms, and some of the escape rooms are for 4 players, some are for up to 8 players. It all depends. So when you get corporate events and things like that, they'll do those sorts of things where they're working together to get through and solve different problems. So there's lots of different things, and then obviously there's the standard like zombie thing. Someone wants to be chased down the street and fight a zombie. I guess they can do that too. So, and that's pretty popular around Halloween. So there's lots of different options.
Okay. I hate to get into this part of a discussion, but I mean there are any number of things that you could have virtual reality experiences in, and are there any policies or any restrictions that you would suggest that we put on your ability to sort of sell these experiences? In other words, you could go anywhere from climbing Mount Everest to pornography. And
To what?
Pornography.
Oh.
And I'm not suggesting that you would do that.
Sure.
But honestly, I'm not.
We're considering a liquor variance, and I don't think that's relative to.
No, it is relevant because when you are selling that experience, it seems to me that you're talking about gaming, and I appreciate that. I really do. But this is an area that
Sure.
that we haven't dealt with before. And maybe you have
some advice that you would give in terms of how we should be regulating your kind of business. I mean, I'm not casting you as the devil or anything. I'm just, I'm interested in knowing what the boundaries are on things like that. And if there's something that you can do to help us in that regard, it would be very helpful.
Sure. No, I do understand what you're saying. I think for a business model like mine, so we focus on teenagers generally, you know, we say 13 and up, obviously we get like 10, 11-year-olds, things like that. But for our business model, everything is forward facing, as you understand. You go in there and it's like a 13-year-old can pick any of the things. So if we had something like pornography in there, obviously that's not going to fly. You know, there's no...
Mr. Chairman, I apologize. I apologize for interrupting. I don't believe this conversation has evolved into talking about a proposed business and then pornography coming into this conversation. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move this question.
Okay.
This is getting ridiculous now.
There are still some questions that want to be asked. We're going to move as quickly as we
This
can.
is
but
ridiculous.
we're very behind.
Look, ridiculous question.
This does not reflect on you or your business. I appreciate it.
No, I understand. I'm okay. I'm fine with answering it.
Guys, knock it off. Seriously. Finish up your questions, and then we're going to move on to the next item.
But I would like to say that I'm asking a question not...
We're not giving speeches right now. You can finish your question, and then we'll move on to the next question.
Sure. I mean, I'm more than happy to discuss it with you at some point about putting in, you know, about understanding more about virtual reality
Please.
and how to
Thank you.
understand. I understand what you're saying. So you're talking about adult entertainment or something along
Right.
those lines, and I understand it. So I'm more than happy to kind of discuss and brainstorm with you at some point.
Thank
about
you
that.
very
Of
much.
course.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. No worries. Of course. I completely understand that.
Appreciate it. Ms. Roberts, you have one last
Yes,
question.
Mr. Chairman, one question. This is regarding alcohol. So in your view for your variance, what type of alcohol or full alcohol are you planning to serve, have a full bar, or are you going to limit your alcohol to, let's say, beer and wine? So
Sure.
please, so that'll help me to know what we're voting on actually when we talk about the variance.
Sure. So we are looking for a full liquor license, but that means what we are only looking for prepackaged.
Prepackaged?
Prepackaged. So like you can buy like those Trulies and things like that. Those aren't really considered. Those are like seltzer drinks and things like that. I'm honestly like I'm not really a drinker, so I don't really. But I know you can get like, you know, Kahlua drinks that are prepackaged, or you can get vodka drinks. So we're looking for a full liquor license just to offer those because I know that from what I understand, those things are really popular. There's I guess there's a Gatorade and vodka drink. I don't even like that's someone that said the golfers. It's popular or something. So it comes prepackaged. So if we were to limit ourselves to beer and wine, we would completely wipe that off the table at that point. So we would be, you know, we are looking for a full liquor license, but we are not.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
That's very helpful. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I do have a question. It's quite simple. For your business, first of all, I'm in favor of this. I think it's a wonderful thing. I've recently come to discover that Malden has a gaming district that I think this definitely sounds like the sort of the start of something good. If other people see the value in it, I'd love to see that. My understanding of businesses like that, I want to know if yours is the same, is that it's not really some place you go and sit down and have a drink and eat. It's people sort of rent time there, right? They schedule an hour event, they show up for their hour, and then they sort of move through, and the next people come through. Is that more or less correct?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Sometimes, you know, yeah, exactly. It's the food and drinks is more of an ancillary thing. It's meant to, you know, allow people if they want to stay and play golf for a couple hours, they can do that while they have a pizza and a beer or whatever it is. That's exactly right.
Excellent. Thank you very much. It really helps a lot
Yes.
to understand that. So hopefully everyone has their questions answered. Is there a motion related to the request for a variance under Section 31 of the Town of Stoughton Select Board Alcohol Beverages Licensing Regulation?
Motion
Mr. Chairman.
to grant.
Yes.
Motion to approve the application as submitted.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Motion is made by Mr. McCrisky, seconded by Mr. Carrera. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you so much, and we wish you the best of luck in the next stage of this business.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Full liquor.
Right now, it's just a variance. That's all we've discussed. We have not received an application, or we are not considering an application right now. So the next item on the agenda is a application for 2 consecutive one-day alcohol beverage licenses, beer and wine, and a entertainment license application on September 5th, 2025, and to September 6th, 2025, and 2 applications for a parade permit on September 6th and September 7th of 2025. This is Immaculate Conception Church, 122 Canton Street, Our Lady of Fatima Feast on September 5th, 6th, and 7th of 2025. We have a number of distinguished guests. It's wonderful to see you all. I have Mr. Baeta, Dr. Baeta.
I will read it into the record.
Oh, sorry. So this is a public hearing, so I'm going to pass once again over to our vice chair to oversee this part of the hearing. Thank you so much.
So I'll read the notice into the records. I will ask for a motion to open the public hearing. We'll take a vote, and then we will hear from the representatives. We'll ask questions, hear from the audience, then we'll close the public hearing, and then we will take a vote. So a public hearing will be held by the Select Board on September 2nd, 2025 at 8:30 p.m. to consider the application of Our Lady of Fatima Feast Immaculate Conception Church located at 122 Canton Street for the application of 2 consecutive one-day alcoholic beverage license for the Our Lady of Fatima Feast to be Fatima, thank you, Fatima, to be held on September 5th, 2025 and September 6th, 2025. The public hearing will be conducted at the Great Hall, 3rd floor, Town Hall, 10 Pearl Street, Stoughton, Mass., and via Google Meets, and may be broadcast via Stoughton Media Access Television and live stream. Google Meets video link and telephone connection for public comment available by calling the Select Board office at 781-341-1300, extension 9212, or email to gpereira@stoughton-ma.gov by 4 p.m. the day of the meeting. Signed, per order of Stephen M. Cavey, Chair, Select Board, acting as the local licensing authority. A motion to open the public hearing.
So made.
Can I get a second, please? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. So the process was to have a checklist by all the department heads, and the fire department approval with restrictions for both events, with recommendations for the use of police details on each day outlined in the attached letter. That was one of the restrictions and denials. The other departments approved, and those departments were the fire department approved, collections office approved, water department approved, building department approved, and the Board of Health. And that means they approved the 2-day request and the parade procession. So with that, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit, whatever you would like to share about this.
All right, Father Carlos Suarez, pastor of the Catholic Parish of Stoughton, including Immaculate Conception and St. James. And it's an honor to come here each year presenting our feast, which has been such a part of this community for so long. I'm beginning my 6 years pastor here in Stoughton, which is very exciting, and beginning with this is quite a blessing. So thank you for your time this evening.
Hi, folks. It's always enjoyable to come in front of you as just a citizen of the town of Stoughton and the hard work you guys have to deal with. This is our 57th annual Our Lady of Fatima Feast in Stoughton at the Immaculate Conception Church. This is a feast of what we like to say of like love, community, people coming together. It's the last one of the year every year in the surrounding communities in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and it's one of the largest ones that we have in town. This year, there's not much of a change to what we've been doing the last couple of years. We are Friday night with Joe Kidd, who's a local guy who's going to be out, as well as a DJ. And we have the traditional foods, as you know, everything from hot dogs and hamburgers to the chorizo to the octopus, you name it, we have it, and we want you to try it and come on out. You need to try some, Mr. Coulter. And then we go roughly until 11 o'clock. That's what we've asked for. We recognize that it's a work day. And then Saturday, we do the same thing. And we have a live band on Saturday, which usually brings a few more folks. We have a very committed, faithful community in the procession of lights that takes place at around 7:30 p.m. That's been mapped out for you, and thank you to the chief for the support. It goes right in front of the police station, back onto Porter Canton, and back to the Immaculate. That usually has a good supportive crowd, and that becomes the rest of the night for us. Sunday is the major change that's been taking place in the last 5 years or so, and that has, it's totally a day of faith in celebration of Our Lady, with a Mass at 11 o'clock, followed by a procession taking the same route. We are not selling alcohol or any of that on a Sunday at all, and much of that has to do with it's Sunday, and it's just become less and less folks come out. Patriots start their season, all that stuff. So. As the 57th annual feast, this is just kind of lets you know a little bit about the community, the Portuguese American community that's been here in town. But this is not a Portuguese feast. This is a feast of Our Lady of Fatima, and those that are faithful to Our Lady of Fatima and those who want to celebrate community are welcome to come. That's the way it's always been for us. And I just want to send a tremendous thank you to both Gilda and Kelly and the Board of Health, because I know that my application process has been not as quickly as it should have been based on my schedule, but they have been tremendous employees for the town of Stoughton and getting me in front of you today. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from the board?
Just one comment.
Yes, Mr. Carrara.
It's always good to see Joe when heritage carries on. It's unfortunate that my Italian heritage has fallen apart, that nobody pulls together the way the Portuguese do, and that's why I'm always proud to go there and see everybody and eat the beans and tripe.
I appreciate that, Scott, but it's interesting. Today, we had a bunch of 75 and 80-year-old guys putting up flags and lights and tents because they're retired and all of us are working. And they're there is no feast without those folks. There is no feast without the ladies making the malasadas, the fried dough, starting Wednesday into Thursday, and then cooking it on Friday and then Saturday. So we, unfortunately, are somewhat headed in the direction of our good friends, the Italians.
Any other questions? Any other comments?
I have one question.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Are you serving lapish by chance?
So now that you've become a friend of Lapish by going back to my old place, my own country, no, I wish we could, because I could make a killing if I could get a bunch of Lapish to come, but I'm not sure that's going to...
I would put a hurting on that stuff.
Yeah, well, it's good to know you went there to eat some Lapish. The lipids are good, that's for sure.
Mr. Gino, did you have any questions or comment? None? To our citizens, I see Mrs. Walsh's hand was raised. Mrs. Walsh.
Cynthia Walsh, 1096 Park Street. This is when my diabetic diet gets thrown to the wind, and I have as much fried dough as the doctor will not allow. I want to ask about the alcohol. Is it going to be in one location?
Yes, it's in one location.
Is there going to be a wristband or whatever? How do you control who gets the alcohol?
We do ID on anyone under the age of 40.
What is the police presence going to be like?
From my perspective, under the police chief's recommendation, there'll be up to 4 police officers on duty, and we do ask that one of the officers is near the alcohol area.
Obviously, I have no objections. This is one of the high points of the fall after Labor Day. Good luck.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments from the audience? I'm looking online, I see none.
Motion to close.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in, all in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Unanimous decision?
Thank you to the-
Congratulations.
Thank you
This
so
is
much,
gonna be
Madam
fun.
Chair. Thank you to the board, and please, we welcome all of you to come, Mr. Coulter as well, and any of our colleagues on the town side that work for the town. It's a great opportunity. I know Joe comes very often, but we welcome you all to come out, and just a real big help if you could expedite the license so I can order the alcohol tomorrow. Thank you again.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Mayor,
Bye-bye.
Thank you for all you did.
Hey, Joe.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
We've got to get the town
Nice
manager
seeing you
there.
guys again.
That will change the night, you know.
I'll move the gavel back to you.
We're not in public comment, so I'm going to make my comments.
It'll be quick. So on the public hearings agenda, we also had a public hearing under General Law, Chapter 138, Section 77, to get PVG 5 Hospitality Incorporated doing business as Hampton Inn an opportunity to update the board on its failure to conduct a business license under General Law, Chapter 138, Section 12, to serve all alcohol beverages on premises. We've received a letter from a representative from the hotel saying PVG Hospitality, LLC, doing business as Hampton Inn. Stoughton 445 Page Street will not be pursuing a liquor license at this time. Thank you very much for your assistance in this matter. So there's no reason to cover item A, so that's going to be, we're just going to move on. They can always apply later without prejudice. And then the next item is the National Grid and Verizon New England joint poll petition. This is Willow Street, project number 310-76275. I believe we have to open the public hearing, but then continue. Is that correct? Okay. So just for the sake of going through this, and is there a motion to open the public hearing?
All in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye as well.
Okay, and we will read all of the materials into the record at our next meeting. And that brings us to our last item on the agenda, the 2025. Oh, yeah. So we had a motion to open it. Thank you very much. We do need a motion to continue it.
Second?
So this is to the 16th, is that correct? We'll do it at 16th at 8 o'clock or 8:30. So there's a motion by Mr. Carrera, seconded by Mr. Gito. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, it's continued till then. And our last item of business, thank you, Mr. Tisdale, for bearing with us here, is the 2025 Fall Town Meeting, opening of the town meeting warrant. I know you sent a list of all of the proposed articles to the members of the Select Board. Our mission right now is not to decide whether they should or should not go in there, if anything else should go in there, anything should be removed, anything like that. It's just to open the warrant. Is there a second?
Second?
Okay, motion made by Mr. Gito to open the warrant, seconded by Vice Chair Roberts. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Warrant is open. I don't want to, I'm sorry you hung out here for all of this, but but also I'm sure you want to go home too. So if there's any questions, we can always direct them to Mr. Tisdale. He's the keeper of the records on this. Otherwise,
I got one comment.
yes.
I want to thank you for the word Fall Town Meeting, Mr. Town Manager. That's just for me, thanks. I'm glad it's not special.
Second?
Okay.
There was a motion to adjourn?
There was a motion. Who made the motion to adjourn? Mr. Gito, motion to adjourn, seconded by
second.
Vice Chair Roberts. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I say aye as well. The time is 9:37. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
So why did we bring Mark up?